Never stop chasing your dreams.
And never say never.
So,
Okay.
welcome, Kenzy Lee from Take Pride Barbershop in Portland. You guys are really, like I said, it's a very focused niche, and I love that you're so inclusive to trans men and butch lesbians. I was going through your Instagram page and I
Hmm.
saw that one, and I don't remember how far back it was, but I saw that one to like really really long hair, and then had this phenomenal butch cut at the end that was like
Yep.
fade with. I was like, oh my God, what
Yeah, I mean,
a difference.
the world of hair is like unlimited, right? Much like our sexuality or our
Yeah,
identity. There's no barriers or there shouldn't be. You know what I
exactly.
mean? And that's what I love about hair is that people can be so creative and express themselves in such a like dynamic way, unlike any other, right? We think about hair and somebody gets a haircut, it changes completely the way they look. You know
Right,
what I mean? Like
right.
it's so impactful, and like
100%.
that's what has kept me doing hair and why I'm so passionate behind it. I've been cutting for 20 years now, but
Wow.
why I wanted to, open a shop and all that. It's just like I've never come across anything else in my life, to be honest. Sure, you can be a doctor and save lives, and that's
Right,
amazing.
right, right. Yeah.
Like there's obviously many other trades out there that are absolutely incredible, but there's something so special about hair because it just the instant gratification,
Right,
right?
right.
Like we can sit down and just get a 30-minute haircut, hour haircut, whatever it may be, beard trim, and feel like a different person when you leave. That's
It,
so
it's
special.
utterly incredible because
Yeah.
I know so many people who like their whole look has changed with a haircut, you know,
Yeah,
and then and then slowly you start seeing a different personality come out, and it almost is like they found their true selves
for
through
sure.
this haircut, and it's just amazing to um to see how it affects them and the confidence it gives them is the
It's
thing.
such a special gift. It's
Yeah,
so gratifying to do for people too, and I
it
can't
must
even imagine having
be.
a job where I'm not doing that every day. I'd be, like, bored.
Yeah,
I'm like, "I
exactly.
need people to be happy."
Right. But I get why, why it would make you feel good to see them
Yeah,
embrace themselves and be thrilled with their haircut and know that it's going to change the way they move forward,
for sure, and
it's
especially with, transitioning for people, it's like that's probably one of there's special moments in cutting hair, much like, your longtime client's first baby's haircut. They've been
yeah,
their
yeah,
child, you've been cutting their hair for 10 years, they have their
yeah,
first baby, these people like better than most of your friends, right?
right,
That's a memorable moment, right? But we have other things such as, a young teen that, maybe be transitioning into something else, whatever that may
right.
be. And that cut from like long hair to short hair for them is, I mean, they will never forget that moment in their entire life.
Right. How it made them
That
feel.
is a
Yeah.
pivotal core memory, like having your child's first haircut or anything else like that. Um, so it's always just such a special moment to be a
It
part
is.
of.
And the thing I
Bringing a
love,
person around, seeing themselves for the first time, and
right.
as shocking as it usually is, but then like just watching, it's like this flood of relief over their face,
Yes.
like
Yes. But
timely
think
and
about this. Think about the moment that they find your shop. And
right,
like I can't imagine what it must be like, especially for someone who's transitioning, to find a place where they are accepted and feel welcome, and they walk in there knowing that you guys understand where they're at, you
for
know.
sure. So
And I
important.
mean, that is such a rare thing, and
It
it
is.
must be like just eliminating a fear, you know.
Right.
It's not enough that they're going to walk in there and change their looks, but they found a place that understands why, that understands how
Right.
important it is, that understands what what making someone feel comfortable. That
Exactly.
moment feels
And you
like.
don't have to be going through a drastic change to just want to have a safe space after work to go chill. Um, and the main reason why I ended up actually opening Take Pride Barbershop was because I had been in a salon environment doing
Yep.
mainly, women, long hair, color. And then I transitioned after 6 years into my career. I was like, I really want to get into barbering. I love the traditional like straight razor shaves and being able
Yeah.
to kind of give that facial to people, letting them lay
Right.
back and relax. And so I threw myself into a traditional barbershop, and I was basically trained by barbers above me to straight razor shave and stuff, which I think is always better than school, anyways. You learn way more.
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
but this was like the opposite of where I'd been in the salon, overly feminine environment, um, thrown
Caddy.
into just utter masculinity, working with 12 men, being told I cut okay for a girl, being told, "Oh, we'll see if you can pull this one off," being told all these things, right?
Yeah.
And it was like, man, it made me tough. And I
I'll
don't
bet.
regret any of that. Is it the best way to maybe introduce somebody into a new career? No. But
No.
I don't think that it was a wrong way. It was the way my life was at that time and the way the world was too. It was a little different because this was about 12 years ago or so. And so then when I opened, I worked for a while and I opened Take Pride, I was like, why is every shop salon feminine, barbershop masculine?
Right.
Like,
Right.
why? And it's
Right.
like it's not just for, trans or queer or any of that community. It's for also the cis straight male or woman that
Correct.
doesn't like that either. Like, I am queer, but I have many friends, that are not queer and are just cis women that like they're like, oh, I hate going to the salon, I
Right.
don't feel like I fit in. Like, you don't have to be queer to just need a space that's just not overly one or the other. That was the
Right.
whole thing for me. And I'm
It's
like,
all
I want
about
a
making
spot.
that person comfortable, I think.
Yeah. There
And
needs to
that,
be a spot where everyone can just go, no matter, it does not matter what walk of life you are, how old you are, what color you are, what you identify as. Any person that walks through that door will feel comfortable, take pride. And that was the main reason I opened it.
exactly.
I don't make a ton of
Wonderful.
money on it. Barbershops aren't a great investment, but I
Right.
also provide a place for barbers to work for the first time that don't necessarily want that environment too. Barbers, their happiness is just as important too. So
Oh yeah, it's like keeping your
yeah,
employees happy kind of thing. But
exactly.
your environment, like I was looking at the pictures of the place, and it's just the coolest kickback, chill shop ever. Like little something for everyone, but I love the space itself.
Right.
I love
I appreciate that.
yeah, it's really, really well done. And
And again, like I have our little I wanted to feel like a home away from home for like anybody that maybe doesn't want to go home
mm,
or maybe they, this is the 45 minutes out of their day that they don't have five children hanging off of them
right,
or they're getting bothered by work 24/7. Like this is
yeah.
their 45 minutes where they can feel like they can just chill, relax, take a breath. We have free beverages and snacks with like a nice,
Yes.
fake leather couch because I'm vegan.
It's okay.
But
It looks
I
amazing.
always
It looks
made
amazing.
made this living room environment with,
Yeah.
got the TV on the, wall and always good music playing, vibing out. And it's like I could have put another station there, hired another barber, taken that away, but that's not why I opened it. I will
Right.
never take that away. And if I were to ever open another one, it will have the same thing. Because how many barbershops and stuff you go into, it's like there's like two chairs to sit on while you're waiting,
Right.
and it's just, I want people to be comfortable and like chilling, like a place to hang out.
Yeah. That's what it feels like. It feels like,
Yeah.
when you were younger and one person had that house where everybody hung at and
Yes, the
it had
cool
the TV.
moms.
Yes. That's
Let's go
exactly
smoke
what it
weed in the
feels like.
backyard.
That's the vibe I caught from it. And I'm like, who doesn't want to be in that environment?
Right.
But again, I think it's about the feeling that you're creating before you even get there. you know
Exactly.
uh you know uh, letting people know that you're all inclusive, you know,
Yeah,
and like you said, giving them that time that they've carved out for their haircut to not have a boss squawking in their ear
exactly.
or a family saying that, you know, this isn't what I thought for you, or, you know, like that kind of thing. They could just get there, and
Yeah,
it's like it's all about them, you know,
exactly.
and it's happening with someone who understands what they're going through, someone who's created this space exclusively for them. And it's got to just take all kinds of pressure off for that, you know, hour or whatever that they're there.
Yeah,
Like,
the barbers just soak it all.
yeah, right, right. And
You
so
know,
let me
we're
ask you,
taking on a lot of that energy, you know, and it's a lot of
yeah,
people don't realize that we are underpaid therapists,
of course.
like a
Yeah,
100%. Like,
yeah.
and very neutral, you know, I'm not giving necessarily a ton of advice, but really all I'm there for
Ears.
is for somebody to listen, for me to
That's it.
listen to them.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I might say 10 words to them and just let them talk, and like that's what
Feel
they
it.
needed that day, you know? And then
Right.
I have other clients where, you know, they say 2 words. If I try to start a little convo, vibe them out a bit, they say 2-word answers. I'm gonna be silent the rest of the haircut.
So
They want
aware.
to
Right,
chill, you know,
right,
it's about reading people and understanding that maybe this person doesn't want small talk for 45 minutes.
right.
Maybe this person just needs to talk for 45 minutes, you
Yeah,
know?
exactly. A
And then
therapist.
providing what that person needs. That's what makes a good barber. It's not just a haircut. It's a service industry people person. You're there to really comfort people.
Yeah.
You know, that's really
I
what
don't
it's
think a lot of
about.
people realize that either, you
No,
know?
it's not just a transactional thing. I mean, there are places it is,
Oh,
but
sure,
that's not how
sure.
our shop is. That's not how I've ever been. It's an exchange of energy, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
the skin touch. I mean, how many people in your world touch your head?
Not many,
I
right?
mean, and then you're like, I'm like, dude, tell your partner to massage your head in the shower, man, because it is nice.
It
Like,
is, right?
you
It's
know,
so
it's a
true.
huge
True.
energy exchange to give somebody a head massage, you know, or a
Yeah,
facial after in a shave. Like, it's just such an important thing. So
it
it's
really
a
is. And I feel like we're in a time right now that men are starting to take such better care of themselves, their skin, their hair, you know, like this is the height of it.
Yeah,
And
as they should, right? And
yeah,
that's what I tell all my dude clients that are like, you know, I usually will upgrade them from like they start with a haircut, and then I'm like, hey, you should try beard trim, you know, haircut and beard trim. Then I'm like, hey, next time let's do the haircut with the beard trim and the straight razor lineup. You'll get the hot towels, the facial massage,
yeah.
lean back, relax. I get them to try it once, they never go back, dude. They never go back because they don't treat themselves enough. You
Right.
know,
That's it.
we've got females that are generally like they're doing their facials, their eyelashes, their nails, their
Yeah, yeah.
Botox, their whatever it may be. They have all these things to make themselves feel good. And like men have really been shorted on that stick. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Like in the sense of they're almost, you're not masculine if you care about that. Like, no, fuck that. Like, give
Yeah.
yourself a facial, like make yourself feel good. And once they
Yeah.
try it, they're like, wow, it's just the self-care,
Yeah.
taking that time for yourself.
Yep.
And they deserve it just as much as any other person. Every
Oh,
living
totally.
creature deserves to be loved and cared for, which is also why I'm vegan. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? I
Of course.
believe being out that energy and receiving it back, you know, that's I don't want harm on anybody or anything. And if I can make somebody have a better day, that's made my day, right? I mean,
Right. And
that's
in
so
this day
satisfying.
and age where like, you know, everything is about social media and posting pictures.
Oh God, it's such
It's
a
like,
love hate.
isn't it crazy? But I mean,
God,
I think it makes sense. It makes sense that they want to look good, you know, for you
exactly.
never know when, you know, someone's gonna like, well,
Unrealistic
you know?
expectations, of course, but
Yeah.
you know, I have a 14-year-old son, so I have been going through being a teenager again, and it's miserable.
It's so
I
different.
hate it.
It's so different
And
than
it's
when
like
we
10
were.
times worse with the social media and like
Right.
just their expectations on themselves. It's literally, man, I'm almost 40. So I was born in 85. I was raised in the early 90s. I didn't have a cell phone until I graduated high school. There was no social media until a couple years later. You know what I mean?
Right.
So Man, I really wish I could have raised a child in that era. I would kill to
I
go
say
back
that
to it
all the time. Like
because God,
yeah, they'll never understand how good it was because when we tell them, it's foreign to them.
they
What do
don't
you
even, they
mean you didn't
can't
have a cell
fathom.
phone? Yeah, what do you mean
Yeah,
what's it, what's a cassette? Like stuff like that.
right?
Like, oh my God, they were such, I mean, you just didn't really have a care in the world when you were out there playing with your friends,
Well,
like,
my mom would be like, I rode my bike for 8 hours on a Saturday, be home by dark, be home by dinner. No
yeah,
cell phone, no
yeah,
pager, no
yeah,
nothing. Just good luck. But
right.
it was a different world then, like
Completely
I said,
different.
Portland has changed so much. I've been here my whole life. I actually was raised out in Banks, which is like a on the way to the coast. It's about 45 minutes outside of Portland. I lived out there for about 8 years of my childhood, so lived on 40 acres in the country.
Ooh.
When we moved there, the population was 560,
Oh my
560 people.
God.
um, I was raised in a very different world than now. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And I moved to Portland when I was, after high school, and I've been on like the southeast side for the last 20 years. And man, I used to leave my car unlocked, my doors unlocked, everything is a totally different world. I literally had to like chase a bum out of my car the other day, like just trying to, break in. Like this is like a
Oh,
normal thing that it's like the houselessness is so sad and it's heartbreaking, but it's
yeah.
also scary now. Like it's a fear like in Portland was never existent. So that's another transition too, is just like, there's businesses on our streets that, are constantly getting broken into. Like this fear, man, it's scary, and it's you just want to go out, and I just want to take every houseless person, and I want to give you a haircut. You know what I mean? Come to the shop, and
Because
I but
again,
there's
that could
too
be like
many.
a life-changing thing for them. You know,
Oh, exactly, and
but
it's
what
it's
I did notice when I was trolling your Instagram, you guys do a lot of charity things, don't you? Like,
we did before COVID.
right.
I was planning on doing again this summer. Um, we've done one for LifeWorks Northwest, which was like a rehabilitation and recovery center that helped people like out of prison get into jobs and safe housing, things like that. Did a fundraiser for them, and like we just did like a raffle. We have a really great courtyard. In the middle of our businesses. So there's like a bunch of businesses linked to this courtyard, and we're able to use it for you can play bands back there. It's like
Oh,
I always call it the best break room in the city
yeah,
because we have
exactly.
a door that goes out the back, and when it's sunny out, we just leave the door open. We get to chill out there. But yeah, so we had a band played out there, and then we also did another one for the Pixie Project, which is like a local cat and dog animal shelter.
Oh, great. Yeah.
Obviously no kill, and a great organization. They do like a super in-depth background check for like all animals and whatnot. So they're just a really great organization in Portland. But we do want to do a kind of technical 5-year anniversary, which was in March technically, but in Portland you can't do outdoor things in March.
Really?
It's raining. Oh, I
Oh, it's
mean,
crappy weather, crappy weather.
yeah, it's just crappy weather. I mean, so we like to celebrate in July or so, just so we can do a band back there and like
Right.
I there's a couple animal sanctuaries I was looking into. I would really like to do something for animals, but there's some other prospects too. So it's kind of like up to everyone else in the shop as well. I try to, I have 6 other barbers there.
Yeah.
Try to involve everyone. I want everyone else to feel, motivated and inspired.
When you hire a barber, is there certain things that you look for or certain questions you ask to make sure you're getting someone that vibes with the vibe that you've created?
Oh yeah. I mean, and that's really the most important thing, right? I mean, I'll
Yeah.
hire a barber with a good vibe that's like a mediocre cutter,
Yeah. Yeah.
over like the best hair cutter in the world with a shitty attitude. You know what I mean? I
Exactly.
would in a
Exactly.
second. So,
Yeah.
um, and I always see people as a chance to growth. And a lot of people that I've hired, like they haven't got to work in a space that they've actually been treated properly and paid properly, treated like a true. I hire all independent contractors, so they just pay me for chair rent.
Right.
I provide a pretty good platform of like, affordability and like what I provide in the shop for all their
Mhm.
clients, the
Sure.
retail, all that. So it's a pretty good setup for any barber.
That's nice.
But at the
That's
same
nice.
time, I want to make sure they realize that and they're willing to put forth effort in improving themselves. And like what I tell all my barbers all the time is like, I still need to be inspired.
Yeah,
Like,
always,
it isn't
always.
just
Yeah.
my job to sit here and inspire all y'all nonstop. Like,
Right.
because you are independent technically. You're not on commission. I'm not making more money from you. You're your own boss. I'm here to like help you along the way. But
Exactly.
if you're not
Exactly.
inspiring me too, like I don't want you in my shop, you know?
Right. I get that 100% because when I was young, I was a little like floundering on where I wanted to go, what I wanted to do. And my mom had a restaurant that was in a plaza here in Florida. And there was like a real estate company and a bank, and there was a little barber shop that was tucked around the corner. And the owner, this adorable little queer woman, would come in every morning for coffee. And there was only one other stylist with her. They were just best friends, and they would get their coffee and their lunch. I'd see them all day long, all day long. And when my mom decided to sell, then I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And I went and got my nail license because I thought,
Oh, nice.
I'll do nails, but I didn't want to jump into that atmosphere that you described perfectly when you said
Yeah.
feminine, old lady atmosphere,
Yep.
cattiness and gossip. I didn't want to do that. So I told Paula that owned the barber shop, and she was like, "Come and do your time here. Do men's manicures. Money, 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 money." And I
That's
was like,
awesome.
"That's what I did for like a
That's
couple of years, just
badass.
like buffing and filing while they were
So
getting their
easy,
haircut."
literally the easiest ones too.
And I had the best time, you know.
That's an awesome
And
idea,
it was just
actually.
how you described, like some guys just had their eyes closed, didn't want to talk, whatever, and you did their thing and that was it. And then other guys
Yeah.
were like super chatty talking about football games and all that kind of stuff. And I made more friends locally that way, than I
Yeah.
did working at the restaurant when you're only looking up to take an order and making their food and looking up to take an order. This was a way to really like
Right.
connect with people. And it was,
Well, you've got to think about it. Like you're sitting there for at least 45 minutes generally, right?
you're right.
I mean, how many people in your life, even your friends,
Yeah.
do you see in a week where you just sit down and talk for 45 minutes, stare each other in the
Yes.
face?
Yes, exactly.
I mean, you're texting, calling the phone, let's FaceTime maybe, or
Yeah,
hey, I'll
things
see
feel a little
you.
bit impersonal, even though it's a personal conversation. It feels impersonal, but to have that
Right.
connection where you're sitting face to face with someone and actually having a conversation and
Kind of forced into it, right? Like both
it's a little
like
bit,
both parties.
yeah,
They're
yeah,
kind of forced to like really, okay,
exactly.
I need the
But I found
service,
it to
but
be,
you know,
it was so rewarding. Like it was one of my favorite times of my like, formative. Like I think I want to guess and say I think I was like 20, and I did it until I was about 22, 23, and it was just the absolute best, like
I
it was.
mean, who's to say you don't do it again?
I know, I know, I
You can
know.
do it
Now
and
it's
you can do whatever you want.
exactly. Then I got like when I moved to England and everything, I was doing bartending at a pub, and I'm like, this is cool too.
Bartending, so I was a server all through like cosmetology school.
Yeah,
I went part-time and like worked. Um, and so same thing. I was like, well, this is actually a really good skill to have.
yeah,
Serving, cocktailing, bartending. I never did
right,
bartend, but I did cocktailing and serving. I mean, I was only 19 at the time, so I couldn't bartend.
right,
And it kind of like paved the way for me to like break that ice with doing hair because it's like
right,
going up to a table, you're just seeing stranger, and you have to be forced to be like, hey, how's it going? Like
right,
like, converse with this person that you would never talk to in real life,
right.
you know,
Outside of
walking
work,
down the street.
never. Exactly.
Never
Yeah.
talk to. And so I'm glad that I had done that because it helped me with my people skills kind of and
Oh,
like
100%. I agree.
learning how to read people and like I said, this person's coming in looking to complain. What am
Right.
I going to do?
Right.
Like,
Right.
before they even sit down, they're looking to complain. Like,
Yeah.
how do you navigate that? How do you get a stranger that you've never met, don't know anything about them, to be happy with you?
Right. To
You
crack
know
a
what I mean? Like,
smile.
it's such a
Crack a
crazy
smile. Yeah.
concept. Like, if you sat next to somebody on a random bus and you were forced to make them happy somehow, it's like the
Right.
same thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like,
It is.
it's a crazy skill, and people don't like think about it that way. And
And
not
you know
everybody can do it.
and the funny thing is that as a customer, you become pretty aware whether your server is going to be a dick or not. You know what I
Right,
mean? So it's interesting to see, like, to have a bad server. You go, why are you in this industry?
right.
Why?
You're like,
You know what I mean?
why? Yes,
Like,
exactly,
yeah, go sit behind a desk where you have no human interaction and you're just like analyzing
exactly.
numbers or something because you shouldn't be around people, you know?
Yeah,
So yeah, it's from
it
both
really is.
perspectives. Yeah.
Well, in that type AB personality, right? It's almost kind of split. Like,
Yeah.
it is like every human like is either kind of more on that side or more of the work at home type. And I
Yeah.
have my clientele is like, both, but like I'd say the majority of them might even be work at home or like
Yeah.
go in the
No.
office a couple days a week type of thing. And
Right.
like,
Right. Yeah.
I have having a lot of those clients too. For me, I'm like, fuck no, dude. Like my ADHD is bad. Did I have to have like an environment that's busy and going? Like, it's almost like if I'm just at home, I get less done sitting there. You know what I mean? So for me personally, I have to be out talking to people, moving around. Like, it gets me going.
Right.
But my clients that work from home too, like, they're often their comments are, well, nobody, yeah, I only go into the office once a week, or I got this meeting once a month. I need to I was like, fuck your meeting and fuck your office. Who are you waking up to every day?
Yeah.
Who's staring at yourself in the mirror? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, who
Yeah.
gives a fuck what other people think? You cut your hair for yourself,
You're so
you know?
100%.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and why? And if you don't think about it that way, start thinking about it that way,
Yeah.
because there's nothing wrong with waking up and wanting to see or feel confident when you look in the mirror. That's like a gift.
Yeah. And
There's
if you think
nothing
about it,
selfish about that. Like, we were taught that that's
yeah.
like vanity and like, no, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, why not
But
feel good about yourself?
but
You
I
know?
think what happens is most people are conditioned to look a certain way for someone else.
Oh, I 100% agree.
So to get them to think, do this for you,
Right.
make
Right.
yourself happy. That's what I think makes you guys so unique because you're putting that first, You're
Yeah.
not telling someone, "Oh, if you're going for this job, I highly recommend you do your hair this way," or you know what I
Right.
mean? Yeah, and that's what I remember when JD sent me the Instagram thing and said, "Check this out. Like, I've contacted, we're gonna get the owner on here." And I was like, "Oh, like, oh, perfect." And I started scrolling. I was just like, you know what? This is exactly what people need to hear about.
Hell
This feels like this is such a cool thing. Like, we need to let people know about this. So
I really appreciate
I'm
it.
so sad that she couldn't get into her email and
I
make it.
know, me too.
God.
Well, maybe we can do another one again.
Yeah, definitely. But I'm gonna let you go get your day started. I know it's there early there for you. And I appreciate you so much taking time out of your day and telling us what you guys are all about. We'll
Of
go ahead
course.
and get this up soon and we'll send you the links so that you can post them for your followers too.
I really appreciate it. And yeah, again, anytime that somebody takes notice of what we're doing, and like, that's like, so it means the world to me. It truly
Good.
does, because that's
I'm
why
glad.
I've done this. So I again really appreciate you just reaching out, and thanks for making it.
Definitely. When you get your fundraiser or your thing put together for July, maybe we'll do that so we can, get you on ahead of time and get the word out about that.
Heck yeah. I would
Yeah?
love
Excellent.
it.
Thank you so much, Kenz. I appreciate
Thank
it.
you. Yeah.
Take care,
Talk
honey.
soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Why do you always run back to
Like, never stop chasing your dreams.
And never say never.
Yeah,
That is.
see?
That is.
See?
True. And I addiction is you. Don't ask me why I'm here tonight. I had to take this midnight drive to find you. And as I come in through the door, I see her dancing on the floor beside you. Why do you always run back to the lover you once knew? You're addicted to her touch, that's true. And I confess, my addiction is you. You look at me and in my eyes you see the hurt I can't disguise. I'll watch you. And though it seems I look right through, I'm noticing your every move. She's got you. Why do you always run back to the lover you once knew? You're addicted to her touch, that's true. And I confess, my addiction is you. Jealousy reveals my rage and madness. And knowing you can read my mind consumes me in a shameful kind of sadness. Why do you always run back to the lover you once knew? You're addicted to her touch, that's true. And I confess, my addiction is you. To her touch, that's true. And I